I'm going to critique Villa Siena, so when you buy, design, or build a property, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm the How to Buy a Mansion guy. I've critiqued over 1,000 mansions. I consult internationally all around the world. Link is in the description. Let's watch this one together.
Today we're visiting Arvin Group's newest masterpiece, Villa Siena.
It looks like a tree house, doesn't it? And that's intentional because this property has a few weaknesses, but one strength, and he's capitalized on that. You'll find out later.
And we got to sit down with the visionary himself, 𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗕.
My biggest expectation is that they're inspired and they're not intimidated by the building.
They're not intimidated by the building. You're gonna find that element everywhere in this property. It's so easy to build a mega mansion and just make it so impressive and grandiose that it just doesn't make you feel like a home. It's actually very difficult to make a massive property like this soft to the eye, welcoming, and not intimidating. That's what 𝗕𝗕 does so well. It takes the modern contemporary design, innovates, tries different elements, and softens the look. Because that billionaire who wants to buy a property like this, they want to feel like everyone else. They want to feel at home. And he delivers that product like no one else.
They feel that the building is there to serve them.
Every room offers something unique and different while harmonizing with nature.
This place clearly has an identity.
It does, and you're going to be very surprised what it is. And this shot is taken in dark for a very good reason. There's a massive property, even bigger than this one, being built behind it that is going to be there for 3 years under construction. So whoever who buys this has to deal with that.
The arrival experience to this home is really special. We have the gates opening up to a long driveway lined with trees, and that driveway first takes you to the subterranean level where we have the garage, and then the same driveway comes up to this level.
Did you notice what just happened? He fixed the biggest problem with this property. This lot is on the wrong side of the street. What does that mean? Meaning to get really to the property, you have to go to the backyard to enter the house. So by creating this long private driveway around the property, he not just creates a beautiful tree-lined approach, which is definitely necessary for this price point, but he also repositions you to enter at least from the side of the property. Much better than going through the backyard.
Now, as soon as you come up to this level, the first thing you recognize is the landscaping.
What is that face doing over there? Has he been playing too many backgammon games with 𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗏? This looks like literally a collab with his work. I mean, I really like the, olive trees. They look like they're fluent in Italian. But this look is backward looking. 𝗕𝗕𝗕 has been doing this. The fact that you create this kind of a live wall, that there's like a sun element in it, and it just doesn't look natural. And then this ridiculous face there. It's something that wasn't even in, and it didn't even land 3 years ago or 4 years ago. But you never know. Maybe he saw this, he liked it, and the design and build phase for these properties is so long that when you decide on an element, towards the end of the project, it could be already outdated or proven negative. So I really don't like this. The best thing is the olive trees above.
So much privacy. It almost sets this calm, zen feeling before you step into the home. We have oak trees, olive trees, this beautiful green wall, and they also have natural elements throughout the entry of this home.
Do you notice the backyard? That is a flaw. The house is not protecting the backyard. And you're like, why is that important, Arvin? The house needs to protect your private spaces. Look, you can hedge it. Visually, it's really nice that there is an opening and you can see the grass. But for privacy reasons, it's not good. Because a house this caliber, there's a lot of people coming in and out. There's a lot of staff. There's a lot of action going on at a property this caliber. And, if your wife is having a mushroom meditation walks with, group of her friends, it's not something you want the whole world to find out about.
Like this water feature, fire feature that's behind it.
And this is really interesting. If you notice, when you drive up, you don't even see this. This is for your exit. That's being thoughtful. Like, you don't even see this driving up. Once you leave the house, you're like, wait a minute, there was an art feature for me to enjoy while I'm leaving the property. Brilliant.
And the same motor court also seamlessly flows to your backyard.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We've already... It's not a positive, Enes.
I want to bring everybody's focus to this side so we can talk about the house itself. It features this striking architecture.
Let's talk about the palette, okay? We got travertine, we got brass, we got natural wood. All super, super earthy element that really contrast well with greenery, plants, which is a big theme in this property. It really does look like a tree house. And it feels like a tree house too.
We have the two corners here seamlessly opening up to the outdoors thanks to the 12-foot motorized sliding glass doors. And they also have blinds on the exterior of this property. These blinds reflect the sun, and they also work with the sun.
I don't like the blinds. Look, there's like a part in all our brains, like etched in stone, that like, you know, that blind one side getting stuck. But it's not even that bad in this case, because a property that is this open, right? There's a lot of indoor-outdoor flow going. There's a lot of breeze that's going to come through. And these blinds could easily just get tangled, make noises. And it's just blinds in general are not the really ultra-luxury element. I'm sure this is the most high-end, you know, AI performance, whatever. I don't consider it you know, ultra-luxury element in any ultra-luxury property.
I love the brass panel section right in the center, these sculptures, fire elements, water elements. And then on this side, we have this curved wall with all these fins. And these fins are teak wrapped. And believe it or not, we actually have the front door to my left.
Now you're thinking, Arvin, am I looking at a booty? Yes, you are. This facade is the identity of the house, right? And it's neither masculine or feminine. It's they. It's binary. And that's a good thing because, look, it's not intimidating. It's really hard to make a grand property not intimidating. To have these such high ceilings, this much width, it just really softens the look. This round feature looks like a booty. The fins look like a mustache to me. Masculine, feminine, it just very neutral. You know, a married couple gonna like it. A single guy's gonna like it. A single lady's gonna like it. A gay couple will like it. Everyone would like it. That means a huge buyer pool. And it definitely goes with the nature theme.
This section of the wall is on a motorized arm, and with a push of a button, you can open up the entire section here and reveal the room that's right behind it, which is a Japanese tea room. I mean, how cool is this? The entire wall effortlessly opens up and reveals the space.
I don't think we've seen that big of a moving door before on this channel ever.
Unbelievable. And there you go. You can just walk straight into your Japanese tea room, which is an elegant space. We have travertine walls and travertine floors. This gorgeous seating area with a marble coffee table, double-sided fireplace, and then we have these two glass doors opening up to the office that's on the other side. Now in Japanese culture, they design tea rooms like this.
Dude, there's nothing about this that is Japanese. There's a Japanese like tapestry on one wall, but I'm sorry, it's a beautiful office. It's not a Japanese inspired. What part of it is Japanese? Like, are you gonna have Japanese tea? Right? Like, oh, if I eat croissants in my office, I have a French office. It doesn't work that way.
It's nice to have a space like this right off the entry of your home. And if you want to take your conversation furthermore, you can simply flow to the office as well.
Okay, so the office is right back there, right? This is actually a very convenient place to have a nice meeting room. Why? Because, you know, a CEO of a company or a brand owner who really wants to work from home, he can work from home. And you need that space where you can meet and greet people, sign documents, whatever you have to do without letting them come inside. It's good that it has that separation, but the backyard is not protected. And it goes back to the fact that the lot is not the best lot.
I want to go back out for a second because I want to showcase everyone how cool this front door design is. To my left, we have the biometric reader. So that's your additional security. And you can simply open up this massive door. Please come on in, and this door opens up to this incredible foyer.
Okay, let's talk about the wow factor. So you walk in sideways to the house, but this layout format on an obviously much more massive scale, it really reminds me of like penthouse apartments in Paris, where you open up and there's a hallway connecting a lot more traditional rooms with each other. But it works. It's a very efficient layout. You do see greenery from the deep end. You see the width of the property. Your wow factor is more to the side. You have a dropped level underneath over here where it shows you ceiling heights, the width, the volume the building possess. So it's good. It's a kind of an internal wow factor, but it's pretty damn good.
We have 8 bedrooms, 24 bathrooms, over 35,000 square feet of interior space, built on an approximately 1.5 acre lot, and this property is an off-market listing with an asking price of $177 million.
Okay, now it's on the market and it's being marketed. Now, the number one thing that really screams at me is the price, because this is not a view property. And I'm going to go over the comps later so you can see what I'm talking about. It's priced ridiculously high, but Ardhi's properties have always sold for a premium, and a significant premium. So you have to adjust for that.
Now, let's come back to the foyer. I actually want to bring everybody to this section. Through this opening, you can look down to your lower level lounge.
Whoa, what's going on here? I'm not digging the visual arts and the wires hanging from them. It's just pretty cheap, and the frame of those visual arts are really cheap. Like, what are we in? NFTs are dead. Was this design influenced by the past, or are we looking to the future?
Plaster walls, and I also really like the railing detail here with a white top. That way you can place your drinks as you're hanging around the property.
Okay, I like the railing, very smart, but I'm getting a little bit of a deviation from Ardhi's past work. And I'm worried about this. Just a look downstairs, there was so much stuff going on. And he typically does not do this. He stays consistent and keeps it classy. I'm wondering if his decisions are being influenced with someone in the design team, because it's definitely getting a lot more eclectic and not in my favorite way. I mean, what is that drum? What is that finish on that wall? The couches on the bottom look like, cat furniture, and visual art, NFTs. Come on, Ardhi. Like that's not your caliber. That's going in the wrong way. That's the wrong way to go.
And if we go this way, you can see that foyer flows to this corner section that I talked about earlier. And they designed these custom sofas to wrap the railing and create additional moments for you to just sit down, relax, enjoy the property.
I don't think anyone would ever sit here.
Coming back to the entry, this is actually a pocketing wall, and it goes in to open up the foyer to the office, which is incredible. I mean, there are so many different motorized features in this property, and this is another one, and let's go right in.
Excuse me?
This office truly has it all. We have a conference table, bar area, seating area, your desk, library that goes up to the second floor.
Wow. This is masculine design done so well. Again, I'm getting a very eclectic vibe with this property. A lot of different elements are popping in. For everyone who really likes dark room, there is a time and a place to execute it. And this is the perfect place to do it. The office, right? It's typically, characterized as a masculine place, and he just executed this beautifully. I really like the, open shelving. I love the bar. I love how the couch goes under the stairway. I really don't like the desk, but overall, I'll give it a 9.9 out of 10. It's awesome. And the fact that it opens up to the tea room, where's your office, is brilliant. It's really, really cool.
We have this elegant seating area, and of course, no office is complete without a modern desk.
No, a lot of offices are complete with traditional desks that actually go with the eclectic look. So again, I think everything in this room is almost perfect, and I love the way the eclectic is going, but throwing a contemporary desk in there, it just doesn't work. Visual art doesn't work. Like, it's just not lasting. It cheapens the brand.
My favorite feature of this office is the fact that we have a 2-story library here. You can see all these floating shelves with LED lighting, and then your wall mount staircase takes you up to the second floor, and look at that picture window.
See, Ardhi is so smart about to position what room in what location, right? The office is separated from the entire house. It has a separate entrance. And then just capturing that tree, brilliant. So brilliant. This is the best office I've ever seen. It's absolutely stunning.
Right on the other side, we have the TV with a camera on top. And I also like that camera follows you as you walk around the space. So you can just be free, walk around, share your thoughts.
Yeah, it's like a, crazy ex-girlfriend.
Around that, we have some built-in cabinetry. I love these geometric lines.
I hate these geometric lines. Like, what are you doing? Did you first make the decision to put that and then you chose the desk? Or you chose the desk first and then you picked this? Because they both need to go. Like, it's just, why? Metal? You're introducing metal? Come on.
Functioning cabinets. I wanted to mention that.
Those are cool.
Super cool.
You see what I'm saying? The 20-year-old cameraman thinks it's cool.
And behind this pocketing wall, you can see the other side of the art piece that we mentioned. You have more of a stained glass detail here. Super cool with some LED lighting. And like we said earlier, you can close off this section if you want, or simply open it and flow back to your foyer.
Not so fast. Did you spot the flaw? Where is the bathroom for the office? That whole freaking Japanese meeting area, an office to take guests in. What if they need to use the restroom? Where are they? They're going to go inside, meet your Roberto and Jesus, your wife's lovers? That's not okay, man. That's like, you got to keep that on the radar, okay? So, again, it defeats that purpose. That office should have had a bathroom, for sure.
On this plaster wall, we have some amazing art pieces. Look at this solid wood seating bench that brings that organic, natural touch to the space. And then on the other side, we have the formal dining room.
Weird. That's weird. Why is the dining room right by the front door? Isn't it out of place? And again, it's also not intimate. Like, in my experience, whining and dining with the ultra wealthy, the dinner is a sacred time. A place where you need to be super cozy. You need to be in that element. Having it by the main hallway, by the front door, I don't care you opened it up to the, backyard. It's just not an intimate space. I think it's out of place. What I would have put over here is a, snooker table. And you're like, what is a snooker table? It's like a big pool table, right? Like, instead it has like 3 like cricket balls that you put on top. Now you're like, what's cricket? Forget about it. Just a very massive freaking pool table. Okay,
it's another elegant space with a solid wood table that has an onyx insert right in the center, seating for 14.
See, like, for example, I'm not digging this color of the wall. I'm not digging this art. I'm not digging this piece. Chandeliers are questionable. They're interesting but questionable. There's just too much going on, and he normally doesn't do this with his properties. Now, it's not out of line, okay, but it certainly is a deviation from what he has previously done.
But the coolest aspect of this dining area is the fact that we have this natural stone that's carved and chiseled and turned into a sink. That's a ceiling mount faucet right there. And that way you can just wash your hands before you enjoy your meal.
Yeah, you don't want to clear your nose in this one. It's a little out there, but clever. Beautiful way of dividing and partitioning the rooms. Really clever. Really cool.
And just like you said, it also serves as a great divider between the formal dining area and the grand living room, which is the area that we're going to tour next. I love these different seating sections.
Okay, what a grand space, right? Double height ceiling. But then again, I'm getting like, Great Gatsby, Hollywood, earthy vibes. In almost every room, it looks like there is one extra material used that wasn't really necessary to get used, right? Like this. Like, did you really have to introduce this new pattern, square things between the slabs? Don't you think this slab is already busy enough? Like, did you need to break that with square shaped material, whatever texture it has? You could have just kept it consistent with the, same material as the railing. Like, did you really need to add that one more touch? I personally don't think so.
Beautiful light fixture right in the center. And the pendants that are actually within the light fixtures, those are your additional built-in speakers. Because we have such vast volume here, they didn't want you to compromise when it comes to your listening experience. So they brought additional speakers from the top.
Brilliant. Such a cool thing to do. I didn't even notice that. I didn't even know such a thing existed. It literally looked like a light feature. But again, Artie just, you know, finds these pieces to put them together in a really, really brilliant way. I really, you know, it works. It definitely works.
Let's take everybody to the other side so we can talk about this grand staircase, which is so impressive. You can hear the water, see all these different materials.
This has to be one of the most beautiful, beautiful staircases, most elegant. Do you see the whole Gatsby thing? It's like a beautiful lady who, you know, is like super well dressed, absolute elegance. And then you just went like bunch of other elements, like it wasn't enough. It was enough. Like it truly was enough, right? How many more features did you add? You added this like super texture brass element. By itself, I'll take it. Greenery in the back, windows opening up, great. But did we really need a freaking movie theater screen behind it? That's just, to me, unnecessary. I read this really cool comment before I made this video, and I want to, it was from one of my subscribers. He kind of compares where Artie took the modern design to how the Rococo variation architecture was taking the Baroque style to maximalism. And I can really see what now he's talking about. I don't quite think it's to that extreme, but he's initiating that movement, if we can call it a movement, right? We don't know if it's going to land. This is very, very fresh off the, you know, construction zone. So we are all just taking it in. To me, it's not landing right. It's by far the best product on the market, hands down. And it's obviously the most unique one as well. The other ones all look the same. This doesn't. So it's for sure going to sell. For how much, we will find out. Is it going to be repeated? Is it going to be become a trend? I find it too busy. I don't find the elements being too pleasing to the eye. I guess we'll find out.
Travertine wall, and then they also have these brass panels that mimic the texture of this unfilled travertine, giving additional dimension to the space. And to bring the nature element to the interior, they have placed a massive screen here.
You see what I'm saying? Like the brass texture wall was interesting. Did we really need a TV? Like, I don't think so. I really don't think we need a massive TV behind a staircase. Let the staircase talk. Let it show itself.
Viewing experience, they also surrounded the screen with mirror panels, which is absolutely insane.
Childish, right? I'm wondering if Artie's getting bored. Like it could happen. I can tell you as a creator, like sometimes I'm creating the same content and I get bored and I have to try something else. Otherwise I will go crazy, right? So I do these passion projects like Menendez video that didn't do well at all, but it was just like something I wanted to do. And I respect that. But, you know, as a critic, I'm not digging it.
I want to bring everybody back to the grand living room because we're going to flow straight to the outdoors. Again, we have these motorized sliding glass doors opening up the formal dining room to the outdoors. Travertine floors throughout. Nice built-in seating with the planters on the back. I really like the screen detail here.
He uses the screen details in most of his property. Brilliant. It makes it so dreamy, and it's kind of like a metallic curtain. It has texture. It's beautiful. The way the light hits it shines. It's really, really cool.
Right behind me, we have those pivoting doors that open up to the grand living room. Now, these doors also feature the exterior blinds that we talked about earlier. So with a push of a button, you can actually close these blinds.
Like, was that necessary? Really? He's just bored. Artie's just bored. He's just around. It's just, I think he's getting bored.
And then on top of that, we have the motorized pivot doors opening up the grand living room to the outdoors, which is absolutely insane. I mean, look at the size of these doors and the fact that they're motorized and they quietly open up the space to the outdoors.
Dude, we have freaking robot dogs doing backflips. This is not rocket science. Shit, we have human freaking Boston Dynamics robots doing backflips. Like, it's not a big deal. It's like, can we not pretend we just cured cancer here? This technology probably was, achievable in the 1960s. Just people didn't pay for it. Now they do. Okay, it's not that crazy.
Have you ever seen doors that pivot on a pin like this? Ever?
Never. This was custom done for this project, and the scale of these doors are absolutely incredible. And the fact that they open up this effortlessly.
What did you expect? Like being clunky? Like, of course they're gonna be effortlessly. I don't get it. Like, I just saw it.
I'm out of words. I don't know what to say, and there you go. Just like the rest of the house, your grand living room.
It does look like a sailboat to me from this angle. Like the wind takes the house, right? It looks cool once it's open, but I'm not tripping over the fact that it just moves automatically,
The initial design came out of how do we almost build a house within the trees.
That is super important, okay? Where this property really delivers, like to the maximum level, is privacy. Even there's a huge, massive building being built behind you, they won't be able to see your backyard. And I can tell you, privacy is an unquestionable, a non-negotiable item for the ultra rich, right? You can show the best view property, but if even it's exposed in one direction to two houses and it can't be remediated by like hedges or some elements, it's a no. It's just no. It's just like, sorry, I'm too famous, I'm too well known, I don't want pictures of, Roberto hooking up with my You get the message.
Everything has an organic shape to it, organic form to it, and what the land is essentially a place that was a gift to us.
Okay, I wouldn't call this parcel of land a gift because, again, I value the lot as a C, maybe, C plus in a AAA neighborhood. But this actually shows it really well. You see how it's on the wrong side of the street? This typically would have been your entrance. The house would be here and your backyard would be on the back where the building is right now. He repositioned it, but then planted trees to even make it more private and for no one to be able to look inside and make it look like a tree house. There's no beginning or end to the facade of the look of the property. It just looks very different than all the other properties, right? Where is the beginning? Where is the end? It's just like a tree. Brilliant. Like he's by far, by a big mile, better than any other developer, designer, architect in the United States. There's some better than him, but in the United States, he is the king. And you're like, Arvin, who's better than him? You better subscribe, my friend. You better subscribe.
Our goal has been to create spaces that they have a great marriage between outside and inside.
This is so important, right? As I told you, he turns a lot that no one even would bid on, right? A lot that has nothing significant about it. Pay a very good price for it, market value, or sometimes even below market value, and turn it into the best house in Los Angeles. Right? It's like, how do you do that? And the vision, right? Like the vision from the beginning to see that is very, very inspirational to me, to everyone, right?
Now let's go see the lush grounds of this property. You have this vast grass section, all these mature trees, and you have so much privacy within this space. Right in front of us is the 𝗵𝗚𝗓 Country Club. You get a view of the city.
That's not a view of city, okay? Do not call this a view property because it's not, okay? In LA, if you see rooftops of, some buildings on Wilshire Corridor, we don't call that a view. It's not a view property. I wouldn't even consider this a view property from the rooftop. It's still a tree-lined view.
Right behind me, we have this sunken seating section that's framed by these built-in planters. They call that area the nest. In fact, the entry is actually a keyhole, and you have outdoor seating with a fire pit right in the center.
He always creates these nooks that you go in and you hang out and you can have a moment and tells a different story, and it brings it in, right? Like a lot of them are covered or some sort of a natural or artificial element that makes it cozy. Just awesome. Like big space needs that. And the fact that he goes with this free form building that doesn't have a beginning or an end, he can experience with anything because he's modeling nature. He has complete freedom.
Now, if you want to take your outdoor experience to the next level, we have this built-in planter here, but with a push of a button, it actually raises, and that's your outdoor screen.
Dude, I wasn't expecting that. That was pretty cool. Again, I don't know about like rain and, you know, the sprinklers going off, how long this is going to last, how many, you know, bulbs and, you know, things are going to burn over time. But the fact that at the point of sale, you can set up a blanket, right? By the way, this will only be used at nighttime because there will be too much reflection during the day. But at nighttime, you could have your whole family and friend and set up blankets and like pillows and just have a, you know, picnic in your backyard, in your little tree house.
We have the rest of the outdoor terrace here. Above us is a motorized awning, so you can have this section shaded or open up and bring even more natural light.
See, that was really cool. Like the fact that you introduced the fabric with the wood travertine, those elements are opening up like a sailboat. Again, you get this kind of like a rustic tree house in a sailboat moving in the sea. I really like it. Great outdoor dining, connects with the house very easily. Beautiful.
You walk right back to the inside. So this is the first section of the family room. It is definitely generous.
It is generous, but it's so cozy. It's so hard to make these properties cozy. And that's, I think, one of the things that people like don't understand. When I show properties to billionaires and do showings, most of them just want a home. They do want to feel cozy. They do want to feel that element. They do want to feel like they did when they were a child and maybe not rich. And Artie delivers that product in a beautiful packaging that, you know, it gives you that luxury, that scale, that vibe, but it makes you feel like, you know, you're just you. You're just at home.
So there's an opening here that goes down to the lower level where we have the wellness center. And what we're looking at here is actually a tree trunk that fell over from the neighbor's property a while ago. And Artie's team basically preserved the tree trunk, placed it here, and planted a bunch of trees and flowers on it and made it a live art piece. But I also really like how they brought the brass screen detail here with LED lighting, and they placed seating sections around it and turned this into a cool feature.
It is a very cool feature. My only concern would be safety, because a 3-year-old could easily climb that seat, go to the edge, and fall downstairs. So as long as there's a net somewhere in there protecting it, I'm totally down with this. It's really cool. It's like the basement just poked through to the upstairs living room, right? It's so interesting. Like, nobody does that. Nobody does that. And then he frames it with the same screen from the outside, brings the outside inside. Brilliant. A+.
Going to the other side, the family room is divided into 2 sections, and they accomplished that with this open bookshelf design, which is really nice and modern, and it just gives additional dimension to the space.
It really makes it cozy, right? Because otherwise it would be one big room. So it's very cozy, and it partitions it, and it fixed the problem with the ceiling heights. Because if you have a really long room like this, then your width to height ratio really goes off optically. But by partitioning it, you mentally disassociate the 2 spaces, and you don't notice the fact that, you know, this is way too low of a ceiling for how wide this space is.
And then we flow to the other side of the family room where we have this exquisite seating area.
So wait a minute. Do we have 3 seating areas right next to each other? Because behind this fireplace is the formal living space with the very high ceiling. And then we have a TV room lounge area on that side. And then we have another seating area right on this side. And for that reason, I really think this would have been a way better place to put the dining room. It's way closer to the kitchen, and it creates that separation, right, between the living areas.
I want to cover this section. It gives access to your chef's kitchen, and to our right, we have the elevator landing, and the door on our left opens up the 2 powder rooms for this level.
What? Your 2 powder rooms are all the way inside? That's a problem, because that makes even the fact that you didn't have a powder room in your office that much worse. The property said they had 24 powder rooms. Where the hell the powder rooms went? Like, I don't see the powder rooms. You have 2 on this floor, and then you have 22 everywhere else. It doesn't make any sense. That's a negative. That is a negative.
Let's talk about this beautiful bar. I love how all these different materials and finishes come together in this space. I also really like how they embrace the slab and cut the glass countertop accordingly. Then you have these leather stitched beautiful bar stools. But the focal point of this bar or this island is the marble sink here.
Okay, I've seen way better bars than this, but this is very good. I think what I'm really, really impressed by here is the fact that they brought different elements together, but they all landed. None of them really spoke too out. It kept that kind of eclectic vibe that they were going to. But in this setting, it really works, and none of them are just too loud that would make you feel uncomfortable.
Let's take everybody to the other side. I'll meet you right there. There are two details I want to talk about. Number one, we have an exquisite piano here that complements the corner and the family room. And number two, we have this hanger door opened up right now, and with a push of a button, you can hydraulically close this door. How cool is this?
That's pretty cool. And the stained glass on it is super pretty.
I'm going to talk about the stained glass later in the video, but I'm not impressed. Okay, hanger doors, cool. He used it appropriately, but it's nothing to be like, oh my God, we have a hanger door. Come on, like it's just another way of doing doors nowadays, and there's places and times we can execute it, you know, in the right way, and he has.
Now, welcome to the side of the property where we have the main pool.
So this is technically your backyard if you consider the front door. Your backyard is really on your side yard, and they've put the pool over here, which is good because you're going to get the most amount of natural light coming in. Again, it's just thought out, right? It's just the way the sun moves, you're going to get plenty of natural light on this pool, which is a positive.
Before we talk about it, that's a rain chain, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That makes sense. It looks like, you know, the water came down the sky and he just peed on the floor. It turned yellow.
Yeah, that is a rain chain. Such a clever touch.
That makes sense.
I'm not impressed. Again, it's cheaps it out. I would take that out. I'll put just the regular chain.
You have your raised hot tub. The mosaic work throughout the pool is so rich and vibrant. And then the perimeter of the pool has this brown natural stone. And the idea here was for them to mimic a river.
Really? Rivers are above ground? I hate above ground pools. Have you ever tried to get in or get out of one? It's not fun. It's not safe for kids. It's just asking for people to fall down. It looks like a water feature, and it's just annoying to get in and out of them. I really like the fact that he used these stones in the bottom. Risky choice, but he lands it. He gets the point for it. But again, you didn't have to raise it to make it look like a river, because rivers are not raised from the ground.
How clever is that? Again, tying that natural harmony throughout the home. And then you have all these bamboos that are providing additional privacy. Then in the center,
I don't know. I feel like the reason they've raised it, maybe it's this like round feature sitting area, because if they didn't raise it, this would kind of look out of place. I don't know. I hate raised swimming pools. I think they're really, really annoying and not inviting.
we have another outdoor seating area that's sunk in, super cozy. You have your built-in curtains.
Oh my God, we have the face again. Come on. Come on. Not good.
I want to talk about the outdoor staircase here that takes you down to the lower level. So on this side, we have two exquisite guest suites with their own bathrooms.
Wow, look at that. That's like not cheaping it out on the guest bedrooms. That's really good. See, you know, he's not showing all of it, but it looks really, really high end for a guest bedroom.
But also on the lower level, we have a putting green area and another area where we have...
It's just cheap, man. You didn't have to do this. It's just cheap.
Look at my backdrop here. We have the bamboo for privacy. I really like their design aesthetic and their reason behind why they wanted to have an above ground pool and finish it with all these materials to give it that river aesthetic.
Dude, a river is not like that. What are you talking about? I've never seen a raised river. Have you ever seen this in nature? Again, I think there's another reason for it. Maybe there's an engineering issue. Maybe because they couldn't give enough depth to the pool, the pools would not have enough depth, so they raised it to give the pool more depth. Annoying, don't do it. I don't recommend it. It's not fun. It's not safe.
Let's continue, Cody. We have some lounging beds here, more outdoor seating areas and dining areas. Let's talk about the awning that they have here. This outdoor dining table is so cool. 2 massive slabs that are connected with the hardware right in the center.
Very cool. Again, I'm a little disappointed that it's all the way on this side. Maybe like it's the barbecue dining table. I like the other dining table, but overall you have 2 outdoor dining tables, which is fantastic.
Then we have the outdoor kitchen here. Cody, I have to mention this. Can we pan to this side? Perfect place for a DJ booth.
Really? You really don't like your DJs, Anas, do you? Like all this beautiful property, you gonna put the DJ at that corner?
Look at the landscaping around us, and then you have this massive curved outdoor screen.
Like again, did we need another screen on this side? How about like in performance amphitheater, right? Like, have you seen J-Lo's house? She sold it. Like she had one. It was really cool. What about a place where you could bring a performer, like kind of a cute, modern, you know, same vibe, jungle amphitheater that plays down to the slope instead of having a screen?
Let's go through this opening here to check out the family dining room.
Dude, this is like the breakfast nook, but it looks like a Panera Bread coffee shop or something. It's not inviting. It's not inviting. The way they've set it up is it really makes it look like a coffee shop inside your house. Like what, half of the family are sitting on that table and half of them on this table. I think they could have done it way more interesting, more intimate breakfast family dining area than, you know, restaurant seating arrangement.
And it makes it really easy for you to come in here, get some shade, or just walk back outside. Or you can just come over to this side and flow to this amazing show kitchen. Take it all in. We have a cozy seating area.
Brilliant. Like, who has tried putting a comfortable couch in the kitchen? Like, no one has tried that. It's as simple as that. Like, there are things you can do that would, you know, make the property different. And the kitchen is one of my favorite parts of the house. It's very, you know, again, it has that eclectic element to it, but in very few materials used, right? It didn't bring that random element, the third element that I always thought it was a little bit too much. I think it's one of the best well executed. If you really want to critique it, it has only 2 bar seatings. You would say that's not enough, but everything else about it works.
I also really like how this space opens back out to the pool area, so it's very interactive. And then we have a floating fireplace here with an open corner, really cozy space. And then on the other side,
like, this is gorgeous. It's a little bit weird being right by the swimming pool where it looks like the pool house, but again, it connects well to the living areas and everything else. I'm not upset about it though.
what I like about this countertop is the fact that it also features a cooktop that's below the marble countertop. In fact, controls are right here, I believe. There you go. These are your controls, and you just place your pan, and it just heats it up.
That's super cool. And I like that there's still functional storage below the control system for the stove.
It's really cool, and you gotta love the minimalist approach. You don't see anything. It just looks like a beautiful, elegant island, and that's it.
Wait a minute. Is it to like keep the food warm, or is it to cook? That I've never seen anything like that. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments. But like, that marble is going to get so hot if you're like trying to cook food, and you certainly, the first 2 weeks, you're going to burn your hand a bunch of times before you figure out what the hell is going on. I'm assuming it just keeps the food warm, not cooks up the food.
Now I have a question. Without that rubber pad, how would you know really where to put your kettle or your pan?
Good question. Yes, I want to know. Good question, Corey. This is your first ever good question.
That's a good question. I'm assuming it detects where you place your pan, and it just heats that section up.
I don't think he knows. Enes, this is your department, Enes. We rely on you. Come on. You've all left us hanging. Like, we need to find that out.
It's a nice minimalist touch.
Oh, come on. Just minimalist touch. He just, when he doesn't know what's going on, it's a minimalist touch. I'm sorry. Sorry, Anas. Oh, yeah.
We'll actually take all of you inside. Come on in. This has to be the best chef's kitchen we have ever seen in any home. Look at this massive island design that's right in the center.
Wow. What a beautiful chef's kitchen. Look at the backsplash. They're using tile. Look how exquisite you could make tiny little tiles look like. A very inexpensive material. Like, you don't get it till you see it in the most simplest form, and then the brilliance just shows itself. Like, how many different material did you try out, did you put next to each other to figure this pattern? Or did you see it somewhere? It's just so beautiful.
And you have pretty much everything you could possibly need here. Fridge space, 2 dishwashers, 2 sinks.
That microwave should not be sitting on the counter. That should be built in.
When you work at a property like this, there's a good chance you'll be working a lot. So it's nice that the staff of this property gets a dedicated space within the chef's kitchen.
Dude, that's a corridor. He's just hiding people? Like, you brought some illegals and like the ICE is looking for them and you just shove them over here. It's like, stand. Like, where's the seating? Is there a seating arrangement?
Next to us is this really cool appliance, and look at all the details, the hardware, finishes, these metal drawers, and these doors are so satisfying to open and close. They're like G-class doors.
Literally.
Super cool and great appliance that complements your chef's kitchen.
What kind of can't even talk. What kind of an appliance is this? I don't know. Is this for like roastery chicken? I don't know. I make great salads and salad dressings. Not the best chef. Somebody, again, help me out in the comments there.
Now, I want to take everybody back to the main floor, and I want to mention something. We have a little surprise for all of you. We've actually toured the second part of this chef's kitchen later in the afternoon, so we can show this property at night.
By the way, we're probably going to have a second episode on this because I don't think we can finish it in one episode. So subscribe if you want to see the second episode, because most of my viewers are not even subscribers. We have hundreds of thousands of unique viewers and a fraction of subscribers, guys. Please help out. Subscribe for the second episode. I'll make it in 2 pieces because this is just way too long.
It looks phenomenal. I mean, look at the setup here. We have the interior lights at 30% and the mood lighting at 15%. So you get this really cool moody ambiance. And obviously, we saw the main staircase earlier, and with the screen on the back, all the mood lighting, all the materials throughout, it really embodies a new character at night.
So far, the first floor was almost perfect. I mean, architecturally speaking, the house is stunning, right? It's by far the best looking house with the best finishes on the market, hands down, but not like the best lot, right? Like the entrance is backyard, backwards to the view. You see the backyard coming in. You don't have any views. As far as layout and the other elements goes, the weird thing about it is that you only get 2 powder rooms when you have 22 other powder rooms elsewhere in the property. Like, why not put another powder room downstairs, right? And it just defeats the whole purpose of having a Japanese office so no one comes inside the house. Like, what if they need to pee? You're like, no, go in the puddle, the koi pond. That's where you got to do it. So that argument doesn't work. I did not like the raised swimming pool. I think that you could easily rearrange the dining room with the 3rd living area. That's like a no-brainer. And you could argue the fact that the kitchen is amazing, but it's kind of feels like the pool house. But again, I don't even think that's a big deal. This is going to be the second episode if you're watching in about 3 days. If not, it's going to be my favorite of Artie's house, my favorite house, which I kind of like more than this property. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want to see the second episode for this one, okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the comments, and can't wait for the second one.